Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Watcher of the Forest. How are you doing? Happy Saturday. Hope you're all staying warm. If you're in the eye of the storm, it's really freaking cold out, isn't it? It's like minus 24 with the wind. I was out there going to the grocery store this morning. It is not that cold out, so whatever. All right, let's get into it. Thank you so much for everyone who has liked and subscribed and commented. You guys are awesome. I love you all so much. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your support. And I wish to thank my beloved and benevolent spiritual team who's always looking out for me, always, yeah, sends me love and guidance and light, right? God's light, always, and support. So let's get into it. So, let's see, what cards do I want to start out with? I have before you give up, think of how far you'll be next year if you don't. Isn't that so true? We always want to give up, right? And in my experiences with this, before you give up, think of how far you'll be next year if you don't. And also, blessings come in right right before, like you feel like you're going to give up, right? And then the next day comes the blessing. The very next day comes the blessing. That has happened to me more times than I can count. Right when I feel like I want to give up in my human beingness, right? Um, and I say it like that because, like for myself, I'm a very spiritual person. If I was looking at it in my spiritualness, I would never give up, right? But since I'm on planet Earth and I'm a human being, right, as we all are, we tend to want to give up, right? But in my experience with that, the minute I think I'm going to give up, and if I just push myself one more day or even one more week, bam, there's the blessing right there. Some gift comes in from the universe, right? Because all gifts are from the universe first. Everything happens in the spiritual realm before it happens here in the 3D on the earth plane. And I'm sure some of you know that already. So let's see what reading we can pull from that. Before you give up, think of how far you'll be next year if you don't, right? Pushing ourselves a little bit harder isn't going to hurt. It's not going to hurt us at all, right? Believe when you wholeheartedly embrace the attainability of your dreams, you will find the courage to exceed the ordinary, right? And maybe that courage is to just um, push yourself one more day or one more week, and then wham, there's your blessing. The universe will give you a blessing, whatever you're asking for. Gone are the days of answering to anyone else. Your destiny is in your own hands now. And you know what? Your destiny is always in your own hands. Always. Always, always, always. You are the boss of your life, right? And this could be I'm a boss in my, business of how I get my money. I'm my own boss. Or it can be I am, you know, I don't need to answer to anyone because I am the boss of myself. I am the boss of my sovereign self, right? I can take care of myself, right? We all have that ability within us to take care of ourselves. We don't need other people to micromanage us, right? To call us every, you know, 10 minutes and ask us what we're doing or, who are we with? We don't need that in our lives, right? So, before you give up, think of how far you'll be next year if you don't. Think of how far you'll be next year if you don't give up. You could even say next week. Think of how far you're going to be next week if you don't give up, right? Think of how far you're going to be tomorrow if you don't give up. Maybe today you're thinking of giving up something. Risk. Great rewards require stepping into the unknown. Playing safe won't lead to growth. Take a calculated risk today. Leap toward your dreams with confidence. Yeah. Take a calculated risk, right? Where there is no risk, there is no reward, right? That's so true. Where there is no risk, there is no reward. So take a risk, take a chance on yourself, right? And just be like, you know what? I believe in myself. I'm looking for this great reward, right? I'm going to step into the unknown, right? Like this girl here, she's on a cliff, stepping into the unknown. She's taking a great risk. Playing it safe won't lead to growth. No, playing it safe never leads to growth, right? Leap toward your dreams with confidence. Leap toward your dreams with confidence. So before you give up, think of how far you'll be next year, next week, next month if you don't give up. Oh my gosh, right? I believe that whoever you are, you're going to have such a huge blessing coming into your life, right? What is that blessing for you? Is it a person? Is it a monetary blessing? Is it you know, is it an action? I am light. The light within me shines brightly, surrounding and protecting me. I remain joyful and radiant no matter the circumstances. Like a diamond, I reflect my true splendor and embrace my worthiness as a divine being. Right? That's God reminding us, we are all divine beings. All of us. Every single person out there is a divine being, right? And you're always going to shine brightly. The light within me shines brightly. You have the light within you shining brightly if you let it, right? If you let it shine brightly within yourself, you have to allow it to, right? You can either have the darkness within you or you can have the light within you, right? And I want to say we have both within us, but what is shining in your life? Is it the light? Is it divine source energy's light, the most high God? Is it his light that's shining brightly within you? Is that what you're allowing, right? Or is it the darkness that you're allowing to take center stage in your life, right? Trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. hmm Your inner voice will guide you correctly, right? Before you give up, right? Listen to your inner voice. Thank you, spiritual team. Before you give up, listen to your inner voice. You need to trust it, right? And believe and trust it so that you know that it's going to shine brightly on you, right? It's going to shine brightly on you and it's going to remind you, hey, don't give up because, this blessing is coming. And I'm talking in um, I want to say, I'm not saying to put more work into it if your partner, your wife or husband is toxic. Okay, that's not it. I'm talking about a positive on all counts. Okay, trust, right? Where there's trust in the relationship, because that's so important. If you don't have trust between both of you, why bother, right? Lion spirit, be generous of spirit. And lions are all about strength, right? And intuition. Strength. We all have immense strength within us, right? We all do. You can lean on that strength, right? Just lean on it and listen to your intuition and see what comes out. You can just, you know, I want to give you an example. Like yesterday, I was down in the dumps. I was really sad yesterday. And I was sitting on my bed and I was thinking, wow, why am I so sad? You know, And I know why I was so sad, but um, there was just like anything that I did didn't solve it, right? So I was just like talking to my spiritual team, and I was like, wow, please let me know what I need to do in the morning to, you know, crack this sadness. And so I went to sleep and woke up this morning just feeling like, holy Toledo, I'm so happy, right? And it's like, wow, thank you so much. And it's like, listening to my intuition, was telling me yesterday, don't give up. We know it's hard. Don't give up, but you can do it, right? You were born in, you have so much resilience, right? Within yourself. You were born to get through whatever life throws at you, right? Don't give up. Don't give up. And so I was really sad yesterday, but I woke up today and I was like, wow, thank you so much, spiritual team, because now I feel absolutely fantastic. And I was getting ready to go to the grocery store, and it's like 24 degrees below zero. And I was like, oh, whatever. It's so windy outside. It's crazy. It's like, 19-mile-per-hour winds. And just, we got like, I want to say 3 feet of snow last night. And it was just like recipe for disaster, right? And I woke up so happy, and I was like, okay, whatever. Went to the store. I was like the first one there, and shopped and came home. And I was like, all right, I'm going to put in some laundry and go do a reading. And, I feel fantastic. And I feel like I have a new lease on life, right? Had I gave up, right? Before you give up, think of how far you'll be next year if you don't, or next week, or tomorrow, right? If I gave up and just threw in the towel and said, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to, be here anymore. I'm not going to do this or that or whatever it is, right? Where would I be? I'd still be sad. I mean, like, probably really depressed today, right? But instead, I asked my spiritual team, and they woke me up with just immense amounts of joy, right? And so for that, I'm so grateful. So, so grateful for that. So let's see. Rewire the way you love. When pain becomes the pattern in love, it's time to relearn connection. Begin again differently. Well, if you can do that in your relationship, I'm really happy for you. You know, rewire the way you love. When pain becomes the pattern in love, it's time to relearn connection. Begin again differently. And I would also add that both of you need to heal whatever you need to heal, right? Because if one person heals and the other one doesn't, it's still going to be lopsided, right? So before you give up, I want to say that could be anything. Before you give up on anything, think of how far you'll be next year if you don't give up, right? If you don't give up. And like I said, I'm talking about positive relationships, nothing toxic here, okay? Just all positivity. Take the high road. You're at an impasse with a relationship or situation. It's now time to think bigger, release desired outcomes, and take the most positive course of action. Yeah, do that, if you can, right? Release desired outcomes, you know, the divine, right? God wants you to release the desired outcomes because honestly we never know how things are going to turn out, right? We just never know. So if you can go at it like, say you want to, you can't. I don't want to say you can't, but um, and this is really hard to do. Like release desired outcomes. Okay, so say like you have an outcome that you want, right? And like I said, none of us know how anything is going to turn out in our life, right? We just don't know. So if you can detach from the outcome that you want, right? Because maybe the outcome that you want isn't, I want to say it's not the right path right now, right? maybe it's going to come even better down the road, right? So if you can release the desired outcome, let God take care of it, right? Because God is always going to give you something better than what you asked for. Isn't that so true? You know, I mean, just always and with everything. I know you asked for that, Julene, but you know what? We're going to give you something better. I know you were looking for a truck, but here's the, you know, something better, right? Or, uh, just anything, right? We know you're looking for, a relationship with someone, but here's someone that's going to love you forever, right? Um, just anything. It could be just anything, right? So try to detach yourself from the outcome that you want, from the desired outcome that you want, and give it up to God and say, God, you know what? I would like this outcome. Could you please bring it to me in any way that it's good for my highest good, right? Whatever is good for my highest good. And then wait on his divine timing, of course, right? And then let God give you, because I want to say, God is not a he, but divine source energy, because we're all energy, okay? Anyways, that's so true. Anyways, what I was going to say is he's always going to give you something better, whatever is for your highest good, right? Archangel Raziel, the inner workings. There are hidden truths below the surface. Dig deeper. Isn't there always? Hidden truths behind, below the surface. There always is, right? Hidden truths below the surface. Dig deeper. Dig deeper. Like if your partner is micromanaging you or always calling you and saying, hey, where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with? What the heck's up with that, dude or lady, right? Whatever. If they're doing that, ask them, hey, why are you doing that to me? I've been with you for 30 years. Why are you micromanaging me? Why are you always calling me? Don't you trust me? Don't you believe me? I mean, if you've been with someone for, I want to say even 10 years and someone's doing that to you, yeah, that person needs to heal. That person needs to trust you and believe in you, right? Yeah, maybe go to couples therapy and get to the bottom of that, because that's going to fester into a very, very, very sore. I want to say it's going to fester into a sore wound, right? It's not going to ever heal itself, because someone who's um, micromanaging or calling you all the time and wanting to know where you are and who you're talking to and what's going on, that person wants to control, and that's not part of God's plan for you. I face challenges and obstacles with resilience, knowing that they contribute to my growth and that I can get through anything, right? You can get through anything. Yep. And that just confirms how I felt yesterday. Very sad and lonely and wondering what was going to happen in my life next. And then I gave it up to God, to my spiritual team, and woke up and felt absolutely freaking fantastic. So before you give up, think of how far you'll be next year, next week, or next month, or even tomorrow if you don't give up. Thank you so much for listening. I love you guys. Take care and, stay warm.